Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today on ubeat.com.
So today we'll be talking about how Figma works. How do we use Figma? You know, it's a simple design tool that we use. If you are a UI UX designer, or you are a graphic designer, or a product designer, you find this tool very useful, and it's easy to use, right? So this is a canvas I've already started working with. It's as simple as this. You have three major parts in this layout. We have this vertical panel, this vertical layout in this particular part, this right hand side, and then you have this other vertical layout on the left, and then you have this horizontal layout on top. So we have these three main parts to it, and then we have the inner space, which is like the centralized space, which is the canvas, which is the empty space where you have your design files and your frames, right? So we'll be looking at it one by one, like starting from this top corner now. For instance, you have this Figma icon or this Figma logo, right? You don't really need all these guys here, so don't get it mixed up. If you click on this, you have file, new design file. By the way, this is Figma app, not the browser version. You can access Figma using your browser. Just type in figma.com, and then you have access to your design files. You can create designs and export, but it doesn't really work like the app. Like, for instance, this is the app. I'm using the app right now. So this is the interface of the app. This same interface is what you see if you are using the browser version, but it's slightly different in the sense that you don't have tabs like this. Here, I can easily switch from tab to tab, and if I need a new design file, I could easily click on this plus, and then it will open a blank page for me, and then I'll start all over again, and I still have access to the design I've already started working with, or just by switching from tab to tab, just like the way a browser works. But you can't do that in the browser version. You'll have to click on file, come here, click on file, new design file, and then another tab will open, that kind of thing. But you don't really need all these guys here for now, right? Because most of the things you find here, you still find them elsewhere, right? So coming here, this is the default state. This move state is the default state, and I always say this: if you are using Figma, not only Figma, if you are using other softwares, or generally you are just checking out a website, or you are interacting with any interface, you should always look out for tooltips. Tooltips will always tell you what is happening. They always identify a particular icon, and tell you what it is, what it's used for. For instance, the tooltip here is telling me that this is a rectangle. You can see this information underneath while I hover over the icon. See, while I hover this angle bracket, it says shape tools. That means if I click on this, I'm going to see different shapes, and then I can select and draw. While I hover over this, okay, I just clicked. While I hover over this, what is it saying? It's saying pen. While I hover over this, it says text. While I hover over this, it says resources, and tool, add comments. Very easy. Frame, very easy, right? Then if you come here, this is like the title of this file, Then we don't really need this. We don't need this. This is just like my avatar, like my profile icon to show that I'm logged in. And this is a share button for if you want to share with other designers, you want to share this particular design file with other designers, you want them to design with you or to simply view your design. You can easily click on this share button. If I click on it, it's open this modal window. Then I can type in the email address of whoever I want to invite to view this project or design alongside. So I could just type in the email address of such person and then I'll send invite. You see the button here, right? So close that, and this is to copy the link of this particular file, design file, and I could send it to anyone and they have access to it. But they can only view using this link. They can't edit, unlike when you use the share button. Then this play here is for presentation. You know, if I want to present this file, I'll just press play and then another window or another tab will open and then I'll be able to present the particular design in a particular frame, be it desktop or mobile phone or just like this in a mock-up, right? So that's that. Then this is the view option. You can zoom. This is currently set zoom to 10%. If I increase it to 50%, you see what happens. So I can see this, in a bolder view. So I have it like that. 100% is definitely going to be bigger than this. You understand that? So that's our view options. You have that like that. So we sorted out this horizontal layout on top. Then we have these other two vertical layouts. This one on the left and this one on the right. This one on the left is called the layer panel. Layer panel. In the sense that all the elements within this frame are represented here. So you can actually select them from here and then you know which is which and you can move them about and they are called layers because you know they are arranged in this manner. So this is on top of this, followed by 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 this, like that. So if I select this how Figma Works, which is this particular text now, you find it here. And this guy is somewhere here, right? I can edit it, I can change the name, I can hide it by clicking this high icon. You see, now it's hidden. I can bring it back. I can lock it. That's what this padlock icon is used for, to lock the particular element so that you can't do anything to it until you are ready. So if I lock it, that means I can't touch it anymore. But I can touch every other element around it. But let me unlock it. So you can do all this within the layer panel. You can rename the layer, you can rename it. So be it text, be it shape, be it icon or whatever it is, or image, they are all referred to as layers in this panel, and you can hide them or lock them, and you can move them up and down. So if I want, where's this rectangle? This rectangle is here, right? Where's the text? The text is right on top. So if I drag this text and bring it down, 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 look for the rectangle, or just send it to the back. You see now I've brought it down, I've dragged it down beneath the rectangle. So it's now beneath the rectangle, no longer on top, because I've moved it from the top to the bottom. So let's Command Z or Control Z to undo what we just done. But I'm just showing you how we can move all these guys about. So where is this? What's this? This download. Okay. So you can locate all these elements within this canvas here. Within this, so all these are called layers, right? So you can move them about and you can rename them, you can lock them and you can hide them. Most importantly, you see these two guys there. That's what they do. So you have that. You also have assets. How do you create assets and what are assets used for? Like I said, when you can share this design file with other designers. If you share the design file with other designers, it means they can either view or design. For in case they are also trying to design with you, they might, like for instance, this particular image now, instead of them asking me where I got this from or how I got this or how to get this, or trying to copy this from my design and paste it elsewhere within this canvas, they might end up messing up my design. You know, they could just easily come to the asset panel and you just here layer panel, just come to asset. These are layers and these are assets. They just come here and look for this particular image. If I've named it, then they just look for it and then they click and drag it and they have access to it without touching my design or without asking me where I got it from, because I've already made it an asset and I've saved it here. Automatically, when you create an asset, it comes here. When you create a component, it comes here. How do you create an asset? You create an asset by creating components. For instance, I've not made this an asset. That's why you can't find it here. By the time I make it an asset, you see it here. And how do I make it an asset? I make it an asset by creating components, which is found here. So you can see this guy. Follow the tooltip again. What the tooltip saying? Tooltip is saying create component. Can you see? Here is saying edit object, create components, use as mask, crop image. So what we need now is create components. So if I click on this, automatically you see this purple outline shows that it's already an asset and we have successfully created a component. So if you come here and look for it, we should see it now. Let's look for design guide used in this file. No. Let's see. Close this. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for it. Okay, design guide. I see it. So this is the frame design guide. So if you click on this design guide, there will be a drop-down menu showing all the assets within this frame. If I click it, you see our asset has already been, created. So anyone can easily come here and click and drag it, and then they have access to this same file because I've made it an asset. You see that? So that's how it works. So they don't need to start asking me, start looking for it. So you just come to asset and see all the available assets, concerning a particular project. So that's how it works. So we have that. Now moving on, we have frame. If I click on frame, the property panel is going to appear in the property panel. Don't forget this is the layer panel showing everything that we have within this space, and then this is the property panel. Property panel showcases the properties of any element. If I select this element, for instance, the properties of this element will appear here. That means I can do different things to this particular element. This image here, I can. This is it. This is fill. Fill also is also known as the color of your element. So if I click on it, this shows that this is an image. You can see it's stated as an image. I can edit this. I can edit the contrast, the saturation, temperature. I can tint it, add highlights and all of that. Close it. The opacity, I can reduce the opacity. I can do all of that. I can add stroke. I can add effect. I can export it. I can add corner radius. Corner radius here. I can increase the height. I can increase the width. And X and Y are the position, the X axis and Y axis within this space. The angle is currently set to 0 degrees. The rotation. So we have it like that. So we have that. So if I select any element, the property will appear in the property panel. If I select this text element, the properties will appear here as well. So this property panel adjusts to our selection. So if I've selected this text element. Now the properties that appear are properties of the text element. This is the text. This is the name of the text element. Is known as poppins. But we also call this font. Then this is regular. We have light. We have other options like that. This is the actual size of the typeface, which is 47.94 pixels. Then we can adjust the line height. Line height is useful for when we have two text elements, or when we have a paragraph, when we have two lines of text or three lines of text. The line, um, the the distance between the two of them, the height between the two lines, can be adjusted here. And the letter spacing can be adjusted here also. For instance, if I do this, you can see the space between each letter is increasing. We have it like that. Then the left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, you can see that. So you can do that. So to really appreciate this is when we have a paragraph. So if I draw this and maybe I have a paragraph, I just type something, just reduce the text size, right? So we have something of 19 pixels. So if I type and type and type and type, the reason is moving this way because we have set this to left alignment, right alignment, text align right. So if you then change this to text align left, then it will behave as we expect. That so now it's moving normally. So it's going like this, going like this, it's going like this, it's going like this, it's going like this. So we have this. So this is a paragraph. Now we stop this. Let's see how we can. So this is line height. If we increase this, you can see that now you can see what is happening. The distance between each line is increasing and decreasing. This line height. Then you come here. This is for letter spacing. See that. Then if you want to, this is left alignment. So all the text are aligned to the left. If you apply center alignment, that means they all readjust to the center arrangement. Can you see that? You can see the difference. Right alignment, they all move to the right. You see that? So we have that like that. Left alignment, we have it. Center alignment, we have it. Right alignment, we have it like that. So that's how it works. So properties of the text elements, you can adjust it from here. So that's good. So we have that. Moving on, we have the frame. The frame here, if I click on the frame, I would have options here. That means I want to select a particular frame or a platform or a screen size. So as designers, we usually choose screen size for our designs. We are designing, either we are designing for a desktop version or mobile version or tablet, or presentation, or is it for social media platform. So we always have this specific frame that we design for, or a specific screen size. So we always select that. So this is where we do that here. You can see when you hover over this, the tooltip will tell you it is frame. Can you see that? If I hover again, over frame F. So if I click on this, then I'm going to have this here. If I click on the canvas, Figma will assume that this is the size of the frame I want to create, but no, without what we want, I delete it. So if I click on frame, the cursor changes to this plus, which means I can click and drag the shape of the frame I want. You see, so this is a frame, but it's not the exact size that we want. So I'm going to delete this. So I'll click on this again and come to the options that are made available here. So I'll just come, select iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro. If I want iPhone 14, I select that's for phone. You see that? I click on frame again. If I come here, close the tablet, let's say iPad mini 8.3, I have that. If I click on this again, desktop, and I have that, right? If I click on frame again, if I don't select any of this, if I come here, this is still in frame mode. Can you see the plus sign? It's still in frame mode. So that means it is waiting for me to draw a frame. Either draw a frame or select a frame from here. Now I've not selected a frame from here. That means it's assuming that I want to draw a frame. That's why it's still in this mode. But if I don't want to draw a frame, if I'm okay, if I don't want a frame anymore, How do I escape this mode? It's as simple as pressing escape button. Escape. Boom. Now I'm back to normal state. So I can go on whatever I want to do. Right? I hope you understand that. So if I select this desktop, the properties will appear here just as I've explained for other elements. If I select this image, the properties of this image will appear here and we'll be able to do whatever I want to do to it. If I select this frame, the properties of the frame will appear here. The color is here, fill. I can change the color of this frame to maybe red or maybe something like purple like this, and then I can change, I can add, I can increase the corner radius of this frame. I can make it, let's say 100. That means you can see I've added corner radius looking like that. I can change it back to 0 if I want, and that's that. And this is the width of the frame, 744 pixels, 1133 pixels. I can change the position to landscape. You can see that. Let me move this away. So this is landscape and this is portrait. You can see that just by selecting this frame, I can adjust whatever I want to adjust. I can do whatever I want with it in the property panel. I can add stroke, I can add effect, I can export. Export is as simple as exporting. You want to download your finished file, your finished design, just come here, come to export and click plus. And then you select the format in which you want to export. Is it JPEG, is it SVG, is it PDF, is it PNG? And then you can preview. When you preview, you're going to see your design and then click on this button, export. When you click on export, you have a pop-up window here which will ask you the name you want to save the file as and then where you want it to be in your local file. Then you save. And that's simple as that. You select this frame, export, and then you have it to preview and then select the format and then export. Alright, if you want to export just this image as well, it's as simple as that. Export only the image has been selected and then preview, select the format, export. Just select and then come here to the property panel. It's as simple as that. Any item you select will have the properties displayed in this property panel. It's as simple as that. And how do you know you've selected an element? You know by seeing these blue lines around it. That means you've selected, and you can select more than one element. If I click and drag over these frames, these three frames have been selected. I can still come here. I still have access to all of them at once. This represents the frames that are in white, and this represents the frame that is in purple. So I can do all of that to them. So if I change this one to maybe red, all the guys that are in white will change to red. You understand that? So I can change it back to white. So if I change to purple, we know that only this guy is in purple. So when we change the color, only this guy will change. So you can do that in this manner. You can select multiple elements and do whatever you want to them as well in the property panel still. So we have that. Moving on, we can draw out shapes as we want. You can draw out shapes. Select rectangle. Draw, like just as I explained earlier, the cursor will change to plus, which means that you are ready to draw your rectangle. So you can click and draw your rectangle and then it will be in this manner. And then you can come here because it is selected already. You can come to property panel. The width is there, the height is there. You can adjust the width, you can increase the number, and you can also add to the width. You can add to the figure by pressing plus. So plus 1303 plus 20. Enter. That will give us 1323, and that will increase the width of the shape of the rectangle. If this rectangle is not obvious, you can still come back here and see fill, change the color to something visible, and you have it like that. If I come to the height, if the height is too long, if I want to divide it by 2, I can /2, then enter. That's 840 divided by 2. You see what happens here? Exactly, that's easy as that. Very easy and simple. So I have that like that. And if I want to undo whatever I've done, if you are using a MacBook or a Mac OS, Command Z will do the magic. Command Z. You see that? And if you are using Windows, you can Control Z and you have it like that. So we have it like that. What else? This is for a rectangle. Now we have the property here. You know how to do that. If you come here again, select line, the cursor changes to plus again, which means it is in a state, in a mode. You want you to draw a line because you have selected a line, so you can click and drag, and then you have a line. A line is known as a stroke in Figma. You can see automatically in the property panel you have stroke, you have the color, you have the opacity set to 100, you have the thickness here. This is the thickness of the line. It's currently set to 1. If you click on it and increase it like so, you can see it's increasing, 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 and then now it's obvious. It's increasing the thickness to 43, and this is it. You can come here, you see other things you can do to this line arrow, that's this end, this left end, this other end, maybe circle arrow, you see that, this back end and this front end, you can adjust them like that. You see these three dots, this menu, advanced stroke settings. Just always read the tooltip. The tooltip will always guide you. The tooltip will tell you what every icon is used for, what every icon stands for. So if I click on it, that means I have access to advanced settings. So I can come here and see what I have. Oh, I have dash. That means I can make this appear in dash lines, the stroke style. So I'm styling the stroke instead of having a solid long one way line. I can make it dash lines, and I have other options here. Dash cap, I can make it round. It's so interesting. I can come here and do other things and close it. But basically, I'm able to do this because I've selected it and I have access to the properties in the property panel. It's as simple as that. So if I come here again, I want to create another shape, or maybe I want to draw an arrow. I click on it, and then the cursor changes to plus. Then I click and drag, and then I drag to the length I want, and then I have it. I can still increase the length or reduce the length by coming here. Don't forget the width. I just come here and tweak the figures, and then I have my desired figures. Then if this is not obvious enough, I can come here, increase the thickness just as we did for the other line, and you can see now it's um, more visible. Then I can adjust this line arrow and etc. And the eye icon here is used to hide this particular element. If I click on it, you see it is hidden, but it is still there. If I bring it back, I click the same thing and it brings it back. Remember when we mentioned the eye icon here, this is used to hide the particular layer in this layer panel. It's the same way, it behaves in the same manner. If you lock it here, it means you can see it, but you can't touch it, you can't do anything to it, right? So that's how it works. So back to this, the eye icon is to hide, and you can bring it back as well. And then this minus is to completely remove this element. Plus is to create, and minus is to remove. So if you want to remove this element, just click minus and then it's done. You see that? Same thing for fill, for color. You can do the same thing like this. Now if I want to remove the fill of this particular element, I just come to fill. Okay, this doesn't have fill because it's a stroke, it's a line, right? But if I come here, I can remove the color because I have minus here. Minus, there's no color, but the line is still there. You see that? If I come here, select this, come to fill, minus, remove the color, but it's still there. You can see that. So that's how it works. So plus is to add, minus is to remove, just in case. And how we can really take note of that is this. If I select polygon, I want to draw polygon, the cursor has changed back to plus, click and drag. I have a polygon, though it's not perfectly shaped. I'm going to talk about that shortly. So now, if I want to remove the fill of this particular element, let's give it a much more obvious color. Let's say red. So if I want to remove the fill, I click minus. It's still there. And if I want to give it stroke, that means I want thin lines around it. Plus, it's going to appear. I increase the thickness of the stroke so that you can see it. You can see it. Now I've added stroke to it, to this particular shape. So there's a thin line, there's a line around the shape by clicking plus. If I want to remove the stroke, I just click minus. If I want to add effect, I click plus. The effect is going to be there. Then I have this to set the effect. To go back, we'll go to that later. If I want to export this particular shape, I just click plus, and then I have it, and then select the format and then export it. So you either click plus or minus to create or remove properties. So we have that like that. So now There's something I want to tell us. If I click on star now, that means I'm ready to draw the star. I can click and drag and I'll draw the star. But the star is not perfectly shaped. I mean, all the sides are not equal. How do I achieve that? I achieve that by pressing down shift. So if I click on this, let's start with rectangle again. Click rectangle. Before I start drawing out the rectangle, I'll press down shift so that I can have a perfect square. So that all sides can be equal. You can see that 775 pixels by 775 pixels. Width is the same as the height. That's a perfect square. How did I achieve this? By pressing down shift on my keyboard. If I want to draw a line, if I press down shift, I'm going to have a straight line. Press down shift, drag it. This is a straight line. But the moment I release the button, the line is no longer straight. If I press the button again, it becomes straight. Release, press, release, press, release, press. Then if I want a straight line, I release both fingers. So now I have a straight line by pressing down shift as I'm drawing the line. If I click on this, ellipse for instance, this is ellipse. Everyone knows this as ellipse, but it's not a perfect circle. So if I want a perfect circle, I click on ellipse, and then before I draw, I press down shift. Then I click and drag. This is a perfect circle. No matter how big, no matter how small, as long as my finger is pressing down shift button, I will always have a perfect circle. So that's how it works. So you come here, other shapes, star. You want all sides to be equal for your star, press down shift and then click and drag. And then we have that like that. Now, talking about shapes, every shape has a node. And these are nodes, these small dots inside the shape. If I click and drag it, they are going to affect the shape in a particular way. In the perfect square shape case, the nodes add corner radius to the shape, to the square, which means if I click and drag, the corners will become like this. So it will add radius to the corners. Instead of having a sharp edge, it's going to reduce the radius of the corners, and then you have it like this. And you can also do this manually if you come here. Don't forget that if you click on this corner radius, you can edit the figure. If it's too much or if it's too small, if you have a specific figure in mind, you can do that. But you can also achieve it with the nodes if you don't have a specific figure in mind. Then if you zoom in again, for the stars, you have 1, 2, 3 nodes. These 3 nodes can help you tweak or edit this image in a particular way. So if I click on this node, this one on the outer part, if I click and move it, you see what is happening to it. It's changing the shape of this star. And then we have that. If I click on this node and drag it, you see what is happening, see what is doing to its shape. If you click on this node, click and drag, see what it's doing to the shape, and then we have that like that. Click on this, yeah, this has only one node, but when we click and drag, it opens up and then we have more nodes. And then you can click and drag, and then you edit the shape. And that's just how it works. So we have that.
Purchase your tracks today.
Okay, I just remember something again. We have edit mode in Figma. We have edit mode. You can easily get to edit mode by clicking on an element twice. 1, 2. Did you see that? Done. 1, 2. Done. 1, 2. Done. 1, 2. And I remember I said if you want to escape a particular mode, you just press escape button and boom, you escape. You are back to normal state, right? But edit mode allows us to edit a particular shape anyhow we want it, or a shape or an image or an element, even a text. So if I click twice, this is set to edit mode, and this now gives us access to to edit this shape as we want. So let's say we want this shape to have more edges. You can just come to this node, pick this node, click and drag it. Where is it? Click and drag it like this. Come here, click and drag it like this. Come here, click and drag it like this. You can see that. Click and drag it like this. Come here, click and drag it like this. Click click and drag it like this. So we have this like this. So when we are done, we can literally just come here and click this done, or just press escape button, and then we have this shape, and then we have this shape, and then we'll do whatever we want with this shape. You can come here because we selected this, the properties are there in property panel. We can change the fill color to our preferred color, and then we can add stroke to it if you want. You can change the color of the stroke to anything you want, maybe red, so it to be obvious. You can increase the thickness of the stroke to make it obvious. You can see that. You can add effect, drop shadow, you can export it, and then we have it like that. That's simple as that. So you can do that, and we're able to edit this by clicking twice. So if I come here, click twice, edit mode. You see that? Click twice, edit mode. And when you click on edit mode, you have options like fill paint bucket. If I click on paint bucket, that means I want to add color to it. I want to fill up the shape, right? That's just what it means. But if I click on bend tool is to bend this particular shape. You can see it's to bend it. So when I apply bend tool, these two handles will appear, which means I want to bend this guy. Okay, let's try to draw a love shape, for instance. Probably will appreciate this better if let's start by drawing an ellipse. See that? Not ellipse, we need a perfect circle actually. So if you want to draw a perfect circle, you press down shift, right? Press down shift, then click and drag. Okay? Now, what do you want to achieve? Don't forget love shape, right? So we'll click twice, take us to edit mode. So we drag this guy like this, okay? And then we bring this down from here like this, okay? And then let's say this guy comes in like this, comes up like this. Drag this guy like this, and then we'll drag this guy like this, okay? And then what else do we need to do? Click on this, make this guy, bend this guy like this, and then we'll bend this guy like this. I think it's looking like it already. And then done. And then we try to press this guy down like this. If you are not satisfied with the shape, you can click twice again to take us back to edit mode and try to adjust the shape, right? Okay, try to adjust the shape. Then we have it like this. We have it like this. Then this angle. Then we have it like this. Then maybe bring this guy down a little bit. Then we have it like this. Done. And then we can give it the color, maybe red. So that's what we want to do. Okay, it's not so perfect, but we're able to achieve this within a few seconds. But how do we achieve it? By clicking twice and bending this shape, and then the perfect circle, and then we got that right. So done. So that's how we use edit mode, right? So we can do this to any shape, we can do this to even text element and all of that. Then mask is also available. If I select a rectangle, if I draw a rectangle, for instance, and I want this guy to be on top of this guy. Okay, now this guy is not coming here. We can always right click. Don't forget, you can always right click. Now this I'm not clicking on any element, but I'm just right clicking. This is the available menu. Paste here. So that means I can copy and paste. That means I can select this element, copy, and then come here and then paste it here. As simple as that. If I right click, show or hide UI, show or hide comments, cursor charts, plugins. You have access to your plugins. Remember I said you don't need most of the guys that are here. You see plugins here, you can come here and select plugins. Same thing as when you come here, you can have access to plugins. You see why I said you don't need most of the guys here, because you still have access to these same guys within your canvas, so there's no need to stress yourself. So since you can right click and then come here and have access to widget and plugin, You can easily come here and select. So if I click on it and right click, I have different functions that I can use. I can move to page, I can bring to front, I can send to back. Basically, these are things you need. I can flip horizontal, I can flip vertical. If I flip horizontal, it's going to move horizontally. That means it's going to flip this edge. Let me edit this edge so that you can see it. So this edge is like this, right? So done. So if I flip horizontally, that means this edge will come to the left. You see that? Flip horizontal, you see that. If I flip vertical, you know what will happen already. Flip vertical, exactly, to be inverted. So flip vertical again, so it goes back to the way it was, and then we have it like that. So if you right click, you have options, you can do whatever you want. So now, if I bring this here, this is right behind this rectangle, but I want it to come to the front. It has been selected like this. So all I need to do is right click and then bring to front. You see, I brought it to front. If I want to send it to the back of this rectangle again, I right click and then send to the back. You see that? Bring to front, send to back, send to back. You see, I have that like that. So I can say, okay, bring to front. Don't forget, you have to select the element before you right click so that you know which one you are applying that particular feature to or that command to. So if I select this and right click and then bring to front, it's already in front. You understand? If I right click again, I say send to back. That means it will go to the back of the love shape because I selected it. So select the rectangle, right click, bring to front. You see that? Right click, send to back. If I select this love shape, right click, send to back, that means going to the back of the rectangle. It's still selected, right click, bring to front, coming to the front of the rectangle. So let's place this properly in between the rectangle. Now let's select the two of them. If we select the two of them by clicking and dragging over the two of them, you see this guy here is known as mask. So use as mask. You still have access to this guy if you right click. You can still see it here, use as mask. Most times you should always right click because it's easier to select this guy. So you can use as mask, and then automatically the rectangle disappears, but it's still there. It's just there to mask this shape. So if I select this shape, I can hide it inside the mask. You see that? I can hide it inside the mask. You can see I've masked it in this manner. So you can use this. This will be useful whenever we are creating interactions in website design or app design. An item, an element can just come here and just pop out like that, into the space. It's fun. So we'll learn that later, but you understand how this works now. So another thing again is, apart from shapes and you can always place image right into your Figma. By you see this option here, place image or videos. So if I click on it, this will open up my local file. Then I can select from my downloaded files and then open. This is my local file. I can go to my downloads. I can get already downloaded image from here and click open, and then I'll be able to place it here. If I place it, I'll have access to it. Oh, I place it inside the frame, inside the mask. Let's try it again. Come here, place image, open the local file, select an image, open, then come to this area, this empty space, then click and drop it here, and I have access to this. Now if I want to increase the size of this guy, I won't just increase it like this because it's going to affect the shape and the quality. Instead of increasing it like this, I'll just come here and select scale, change it to scale, from move to scale. Then I can now scale it so it will maintain the same dimension and the same shape. That's how to scale, that's how to increase the size of your element. So once I'm done, I just come back here, I change it back to move, and then I'm okay like that. So that's how it works. Yeah, so just as we talked about this, guys. So if you can also drag from here, drag an image from from your from your menu here, drag and drop it into your Figma file like that, just as you do for other design softwares. It's as simple as that. If you don't want to go through the stress of placing image and checking from your local file, then that's that. Then you can come here. Here we have pen. Pen allows us to draw. You can use this pen to trace a particular shape or an image. For instance, maybe I want to trace this. Where is it? Maybe I want to trace this particular guy now. I can just click and drag, click and drag, click and drag like this. I'm tracing this, even though it's not perfect, but you understand what I'm saying? You can see there what I mean. So I drag like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay, 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 okay. Just drag, easy, easy, easy. Okay. I know it's gonna look like it anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. So I have it like this, like this. Sorry, I need to right click. Okay, okay. Okay, so I'm done, but this guy is still here. So what did I say about escaping modes like this? Just press escape button, as simple as that. Escape, and you have it there. But where is the line we've been drawing? It's right here. Just drag this guy out, and then you have access to your line. Like I said earlier, Figma recognizes lines as strokes. So you just come here in the property panel. Stroke is already there waiting for you. So you just come here, increase the thickness so you can see clearly what you have just drawn. And then you can add fill to this guy. If you want to add fill, it means you want to add color to it. So you just come here, just click plus. And then it has fill. Select the color you want, maybe purple, and then that's that. If you want to remove the fill, remove the fill. As simple as that. You want to add effect, add effect. You want to export, click plus, and then you have it, and that's that. Minus removing that particular command. So that's how it works. So that's how pen works. Then pencil is as simple as pencil. You can just click and just draw whatever you want to draw, and then you have it like that. And how do we escape this mode? Because you are done drawing, you don't want to draw anymore, so you want to move on to something else. So just escape, just escape. And that's that. It's as simple as that. So you can select the lines that you have drawn and it comes to property panel. Same thing, Figma is going to recognize this as what? Stroke. So you do whatever you want to do. You can change the color to something like purple, and you can change it, you can increase the thickness, and then you have it like that, and then you can go on with your project. So we have these two guys like that. Now, T stands for text. If I click on this, that means I'm ready to type in the text. So if I click, you can see this guy blinking. Means it's ready for me to type in whatever I want. So hello, my friend, and I have it like that. But the size is currently set to 19.94 because that's like probably the last one last text we typed. So, but if it's not visible enough, you can always increase the size from here or decrease it. You can always increase and decrease. You can see, just type in the figure as you want, and then this is the typeface. You can change the typeface, also known as fonts. You can change it from here. First story, okay. You can change that. Then this photo doesn't have variants. It has just one particular variant. Let's try enter. Type in enter, and then you have enter, and then you can come here to change the different variables of this particular enter. Medium, you have black, you have extra black like that, and that's that. The letter spacing is here. You can increase the letter spacing, the space between the letters, and have it like that. If you have multiple lines of text, you can align to the left, align to the right, align to the center, and have it like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so apart from the text, we also have these guys where you can get resources. You have plugins here already, so you don't even need to right click and start looking for plugins like that. You can easily just come here, click on this, and then you know, you have this menu. You can click on plugins here, and then you have already downloaded menu, which are the ones you downloaded yourself, and then you have menus. You have plugins from the community, from the Figma community itself. So you don't even need to open a new browser to start checking Figma community. You already have them here. All you need to do is just type in your keyword, and then they will pop up here, and then you run it from here. Once you run it, you have access to it, and you can use it and close the menu. And if you want to browse more, you can just come here, browse more in community. It's as simple as once you click here to take you to Figma community, and you browse more options, more plugins. What are plugins? Plugins are those pre-saved or preloaded resources that help us to achieve our goals faster as designers. So if I need a set of images that's that will go well with my project, I should have a plugin that will give me that. So I just run the plugin and then select the images I need and paste them into my canvas and then design on the go. I don't have to start checking Google, start downloading into my local file, start placing image one after the other. I don't have to do all of that. For instance, this is a plugin. So you can basically have plugins for everything, anything that you want, right? You can have plugins for icons, plugins for images, plugins to bend your text elements, plugins to make them circular, plugins to change to vectorize your images, plugins to crop your images, plugins to do whatever you want, just to make the work easier, right? So for instance, this material design icons is a plugin for icons. You can get all sort of icons from here. So if I want to use this, for instance, I just click run, and then you see the menu. It's going to pop up here right now, and there we have it. And then I can select the plugin I want just by clicking or click and drag, and then I have it. Then I have it. Don't forget what I said. Let's say I want to resize these icons. I won't just click and drag like this. It's going to affect the shape. You can see this is already looking compressed. That's not what we want. So I'll just come here and select, change this mode from move to scale. Then I can easily resize and then maintain the shape of this particular icon. You see that? That's how it works. So once I'm done with this, I can just, and this is so interesting, you can search for a particular icon you want. Let's say books, enter, and then if you bring the search results, something like this, library books, other books, and some of them are, you have to pay for some of them are free. Like this now, I can click and drag it out, and then I'll have access to this icon, and I can use it for my project on the go. I can select the color I want for the icons, but this is currently set to black. If I'm done, I just close this, and then boom, that's that. So that's what this is used for. It's not complex. Resources, just click on it, and then you have access to plugins, and you search and you select, and then you run. And if you don't have enough here, you want to browse more in the community, click on this link, and it will take you to the community, Figma community, where you have more access to more plugins. Then this one, this hand guy is just a move tool. Just to move this whole page. It's as simple as pinching. You can pinch your mouse pad to achieve this as well. To move about using your two fingers. If you are using MacBook, I think it works the same way on HP and other on Windows as well. So you can move, pinch and move like this, and you can spread your two fingers and pinch your fingers, pinch the surface of the mouse pad rather to zoom in and zoom out like that. So you don't really need this guy. You don't really need this guy. So, and do you notice what is happening now? Because I clicked on this guy. Now I want to go back to the normal activity, like normal. I want to select this what's it called, this line. I want to select this line. I want to do other things, but I can't do that because this is still currently set to and tool. So how do you escape this mode and go back to normal mode? Escape. Bam. Now everything is back to normal. I can select other elements. It's as simple as that. Comments here. This is for comments, to add comments. So if I want to add comment to this particular love shape, I could just click on it, boom, then I type in my comment. This shape, this shape is not perfect. And then I send it, boom, and then I drop the comment on this particular shape. And why is this useful? It's useful because when we share this file, we can share this file with other designers. They can have access to this file. They can either design with you or they can view it, right? You have the ability to control to give them the permission to do that. So they can. So if I, for instance, if I click on share, this is going to pop up. Then I can select. I will just type in the email address of the user I'm inviting to this file. It could be maybe this person, for instance. Maybe I could just type in email address. Let's say this. So I can type in email address and then I can select if I want the user to edit or view. Right? If I say view, that means user can only view this file, cannot edit it. Or if I want them to edit, I just click can edit. Then this button will pop up. Then I'll click on this button. I'll send invite, and then automatically they will receive the notification in their email saying that okay, I have invited them to this file, either to design or to view. Right now, this is the comment I dropped 4 minutes ago. This shape is not perfect. The moment that means I can invite more than 4 people. I can invite more than 5 people on this same project. But once I drop a comment like this now, all of them will see this comment and say, oh, okay, BDCIDW said this shape is not perfect. And they look within the frame, they say, oh, this is where the comment icon is. Then they hover, and when they hover, they're going to see exactly what I said. Everyone will see it, right? Now, if I want to, let's say, this is still in comment section because I've not, it's still in comment mode because I've not escaped it. If I escaped it, escape. You see it's back to normal. Right? Now, if I want to direct these comments, or if I want to mention someone specifically, right? I'll just come here, still in comment, add comments, maybe on this particular shape. Then I ask, let's say at, or let me just type, Figma will automatically bring it up, or okay, at, for instance, just the way it works on social media platforms, at, then I'll select any of the users that are present in this file, right? Maybe at this person, then I will now start with my comment. What is this? What is this? And then I've sent it. Okay, so escape. So once I send it, the that particular user will receive a notification that someone has tagged you or someone has mentioned you in this file. Then the person will go to the comment section and see exactly what I said, and they will see the particular shit. Then they can also reply, and when they reply, I'll also receive a notification that this person has replied. Then we also have ruler. We have rulers. See these guys, these guys that look calibrated. This horizontal one and this vertical one, they are rulers. You can easily click and drag. You can create multiple rulers just to guide you in your design, so that you can know that okay, you can be able to fix your elements within a particular boundary. So you can draw rulers multiple times until you are satisfied. So I can easily drag this guy and place it here, within this boundary, and place this guy also within the boundary. I can tell that these guys are on the same level because I have a ruler over the two of them, and it's a straight line. And it's good to use rulers sometimes so that you can use it to know if your elements or your elements are aligned exactly. So you can click and drag, as simple as that. Click and drag multiple times. Click and drag, basically. And to hide the rulers, you can just Shift and R, press Shift and R to hide the rulers. See, it says here that rulers are hidden. If you want to bring the rulers back, Shift and R again, and then the rulers will come back. If you want to delete these rulers, just click, select, and delete. Select, delete, select, delete. select delete, like that, like that, like that, like that. So we have this like that, and then if you come here, you have design. This is design mode. That's how we've been able to design and do all of this. If you want to prototype, this is prototype mode. Prototype is used to prototype to connect different frames to the other to create interactions. You can see these guys are already behaving in this manner. That means I can click and drag this to the next frame of prototyping. More like a technical interaction between within Figma actually. So I can just close this for now. Then inspect is to check in code what you have designed. This will be useful for web development. A web developer can come here and just inspect this particular design file, and then they have the design file in code, and then they can easily read and move on with the project. So we have that.
It'll beat that cup. This beat ain't normal. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today on ubeat.com.
Yeah, thank you. That'll be all for now.